Well, we used basically last year as the base. The only big difference is we do have an extra judge now, or an additional judge, I should say, 6 instead of 5. So we did try to adjust some of the numbers that were number sensitive to reflect that. And that judge came with a court reporter who comes with a court reporter machine, which are not cheap and require periodic upkeep, and also a marshal, which that we reflected that in our court security budget, that we have 7 court marshals instead of 6 now. The only other thing is we did try to boost our training budget both for the marshals and for the judges. We've got some newer marshals, we've got some newer judges, and so we've been exploring some options to get people a little bit better training up to speed. Other than that, I take anybody's questions. One thing, the jury script mileage, they changed the statute, as you know, and we had an option to do something, but they did change the mileage too, which if we really have to pay all that, could it substantially increase that expense. And I don't believe it's going to happen next year, but at least in the next 2 to 3 years, we have a jury trial that's going to be brought from Platte County that'll need to be sequestered probably for 2 or 3 weeks, which is going to be an enormous expense. But that's not reflected in this year's budget.
Now, are we reimbursed by Platte County at all?
No.
It's our trial.
No, it's our trial. A judge who will remain nameless who is retired decided that would be the way to go, which he's probably right. It's a high-profile murder case, which there was a lot of publicity. So, and that's probably set in stone, but maybe not. That might be more up to the prosecutor than to the judge.
I think the other one will take place this year, this coming.
Probably. We also have another trial, which I believe is going to happen, where the order in that court is that we're going to bus a jury from Pulaski County to here every day, which is also going to be an expense. I don't have as good a handle on that one as to why that occurred, but it's a little bit out of our hands because it's an out-of-town judge who ordered it. Anything else? And that's just on my end, court services. Mark Eichholz is here to kind of speak up for his portion. Judge Walker has traditionally kind of overseen the pretrial, and so that's why he's here. And of course, my good friend Toby Myers here to talk about the juvenile office, which is actually under the court system as well. But if anybody has any specific comments for me on the part that I know most about, I'm open to hear it.
Could I just say something about the jury? We've been putting in like 65,000 the last few years. We've never come close to that, and just in case you get a big, but I think, you know, I'm not the county auditor anymore, but we've talked about, I think that 65,000 is still, if you're okay with that as kind of a placeholder number, should cover, it sounds like that should cover anything in the upcoming, everything in the upcoming year.
I guess I would just make a comment or two that on the pretrial services, there's some individuals that they were requested to receive the increase, the pay increase based on what the state had done with 1% for every 2 years of service. You know, I'm aware we've got county employees working with state employees, but you know, that is something different for this group that may not be done for other groups and everything. Toby, are you going to speak on yours? Okay.
Well, as far as salary goes, I know that you all are looking at that issue across the whole county. We've just, I think we anticipated, for the most part, just whatever COLA you all come up with.
For pre-trial as well.
Yes. Pretrial and marshals, with the exception of the head marshal, which is Holly Butler, who's also with us today. Holly's paid by the state. The county employees would be the court security men, the marshals, and all the pretrial people are county people. Other than that, everybody else that works over there is a state employee.
So Matt Duckett couldn't be here for pretrial, and Jay hit the nail on the head. Just, you know, in his proposed budget, he did want to at least advocate for that that other compensation plan. I understand PJ's presentation includes basically just a COLA. The only other number I want to call attention to is he also asked for just an overtime setting, a number to cover overtime, because they do have to be on call. They do have to do 24/7 all the time. They don't always use it. And in the past, we've been able to pay that. You haven't approved it as a separate line item. We've been able to pay that in part out of the part-time budget. And I'll remind you, this is the third or fourth year we've had that in there with the intent to have that person shared a little bit with our treatment court. If you recall, about a year ago, we even went through the interview process. Sheila helped us, and we went through, identified somebody we might hire. Then we backed off that hire, and then our administrator changed, and we just didn't start back up that process. So that part-time person, which was approved at $16,000 in the last several years, it's still in that $37,500. The other part of that $37,500 is Mary Ann, who's still a part-time employee anyway. But I just wanted to point that out. Those are the only numbers in pretrial of significance. We do intend to fill that position, but we'd have to start the hiring and post again. Mike, our new administrator, we've talked about that, but we wanted to get to this point before we do this.
I don't know how deep a dive we do here today on this, but I guess I do want to go on record that just because the state has proposed maybe it's 1% for 2 years, and we now have one group that is proposing it for the county. I don't see that as happening at this time, given that we are working on a salary study, and it would start a cascade that I don't think we can just handle without some real long-term thinking. That's my
I agree with you.
position on that. But I didn't want to dive too deep into this this quick. But
I'm not going to argue against Matt's request, but I'll take the message back. Thank you.
For juvenile,
I don't know. We do have an audience out there somewhere, I believe, so.
for juvenile, the budget is, there's very few differences between the 25 and 26 budget. I will note in the revenue line that the Bren grant is a one-time grant, so that line item will not renew. In the expenditure line, our communications line is going to increase because of the data in the phone bill. And then that really just leaves us with the salary line. Consistent with what the court is asking, we would just ask that whatever the county does, it's consistent for the juvenile office. In the 25 budget, we had allocated 2 full-time attorney positions. When we were unable to fill the second position, we rolled all of that funding to support 2 part-time positions. One of my part-time positions is willing to go full-time in 2026, so I'm asking to restore that. So the difference between the 25 budget And the 26 budget is going to be that part-time position that is already filled. To offset the cost of that, we're willing to forego filling a deputy juvenile officer position. And then the funding for that position would cover the part-time attorney positions and the 4 adjustments to salaries that I've requested. One of the adjustments is the lead attorney would go to $80,000 as agreed when we hired him. The second legal counsel position would go to 75. In her part-time status, she would make 41,000. So going from 20 hours to 40 hours would be about 80,000. Drop it back to 75 because of the benefit package, and then adjust the superintendent based on years of experience. She has her doctorate now. To 75, and the chief deputy to 80,000 based on years of experience. She's been with us for 20 years.
Chief deputy to what? Toby?
Chief deputy to 80. And Sheila, I can send that to you.
Some of that email to you guys.
Yes.
Can you make sure Dawn gets that
Yeah.
email?
Yeah.
That email, so,
Yeah, you do. One from Judge Grainer from Toby.
all of it. Anything they talked about.
I sent an email on August 6th.
Yeah, I have, I would.
Is yours dated 8/13?
So it came on August 6th, and I resent it to you on 8/13, yes.
It's the one with 3 adjustments in the adjustments column.
Should be 4 adjustments, the chief deputy
I'm
juvenile.
sorry, 4.
Yes, yes, sir.
Toby, on the professional services, there's no change in the request, but last year we spent around 150,000, and year-to-date we've spent 89,000, and that's at 292.5.
Right.
Is that still an appropriate number for that?
That is still the request. We are going to we're going to watch how the budget plays out this year. We would like to take that contract amount to $75. Last year in the budget, we worked to decide if we were going to open billing and they could bill for all of the work they did, or if we were going to increase them from $50 to $75 an hour. We opened billing but did not do an increase. What we're hopeful is that we can maintain that amount but now do the increase. We're having significant problems finding people to do the work. So we're hopeful that increasing it would bring it in line with what surrounding counties pay, but we could still work with just the number that we've already got in the budget.
You're talking about attorney fees, right? Outside
Yeah.
attorney fees, yeah, that,
Yes.
okay, that's
Yeah.
what, Jay, I remember that last year, but Jay wasn't here last
Okay.
year, so.
In the note section in BSA, there is an indication that it's at $75 an hour instead of $50 an hour, and that's the goal as we continue to monitor the budget for this year. But we've really struggled to get attorneys for our cases because the pay is so low.
I'm just waiting till you're ready for me.
You go.
Yes.
I'm not, unlike them, I'm not asking for anything different other than keep that part-time job again. We still have thousands and thousands of files that we're finding all the way back to 2008 that we're still dealing with, where part-time help is used to verify those files, get them entered into the system. I had 3 part-time paid by the county last year, and they were all high schoolers, so they're all back in school. So I have nobody right now. So I'd like to keep that. I know we shredded almost 122 boxes that were found in the jail a couple weeks ago and in the basement of the courthouse, and we've got plenty more to go. So they help with that kind of stuff, the shredding and the verifications. But other than that, I'm fine with my entire budget. I know you keep asking when we're gonna be done with this. I'm trying. I'm finding 2008 stuff yet, so.
What's our, I know that dealing with the budget for this group is a little different than dealing with the budget for everything else time-wise. Do we have a drop-dead date here?
I think legally you can't change anything after September 1st.
Yeah. So we've got,
So you probably need to decide, what are you gonna decide that today, or think about it, come back later, next week? Are you gonna knock down the salary, things like that? You probably need to make the decision before September 1st on, are you gonna, okay with Toby's salary increases above the COLA? Yeah, I mean, I think you need to specifically approve or disapprove that. Both of you come to an agreement, and then by September 1st. Otherwise, legally, you can't change anything unless you want to go through the state judicial
Circuit court.
budget, whatever it's called, yeah, commission. Yeah.
Is that juvenile too? Because I thought we've talked about salaries after the fact before and made changes to those.
Juvenile, I think legally falls under that.
And
I know when my first two budgets, Judge Beadham said, okay, we're gonna treat it like a department head, and we'll do that under the normal county budget process, but last year he changed his mind and put it under the courts. So, but legally, I think it could have always been under the court process that we're
I'd like to
doing
do salaries
today.
at the same time. The rest of it, crazy hard for us out, but the salaries, I think we need to look at the same time as we're doing the rest of the county employees.
Well, we can't wait on these salaries after September 1.
They're not gonna let us add to it?
No, legally, he keeps talking about legal. We want to do it illegally, I guess we can do anything we want.
We're not gonna argue about us adding to it. I mean, is it gonna be illegal to give somebody a raise? You can't change it even after January.
Oh, you can add to it, I'm sure, yeah.
You can't change the budget.
That's what I'm saying, is after we go through the salaries, we're gonna add to it. We're just not gonna put that in there for now because we don't know what we're doing with our people. And it's not fair to do the adjustments or any kind of raises on these if we're not gonna do it for the rest of the county employees. So if you put the adjustments and salary increases at 0, and then whenever we decide what we're gonna do with it at budget time, we go on there, we add it to it. We're not taking away from that. Because otherwise, we're stuck with it now. Whether we go in and look at the adjustments, just use Toby's for example, some increases there. We haven't had time to sit down and look at that position or anything. We've got the salary study being done. So it doesn't make any sense at all to add that to it right now.
One thing that can always change is the COLA. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just,
and I think.
we do, whatever final COLA you approve, that should apply to all county employees, court employees,
We
everything.
just said legally, we can't change our budget after September 1st. Sorry.
I think
Well,
Toby figured roughly.
I think we've always made an exception for COLAs. The final COLA goes to everybody.
Exceptions to the rules now?
I don't know. I'm
I'd like
not
to
an
hear this.
attorney.
Keep going.
Ask the attorneys.
He's a private citizen.
So I'm just, the salaries are the part that I'd like to address later.
And pre-trial release, I don't think we can match the state. I don't think it's an option. COLA, yes, but
But we don't know what our COLA's gonna be.
no, we
We're
don't.
not
We
necessarily
don't.
matching the state's COLA either.
Yeah, well, we'll see how generous Jay is.
Well, historically, we have not adjusted the salaries until we get to the end of the budget and see where we're at with it. And the auditor, most of the time, will put something in there. A fair guesstimate.
I think courts would do. I think,
And you can put this back
We've got to move.
yeah.
Just those were adjustments.
Well,
Right.
it would be our goal
I don't think it registered.
to
Other than those four that you were gonna ask for additional.
approve budget for who can fund this. Given that the COLA is a placeholder, and maybe we asterisk the colon to say whatever it is for the county, what we apply to this.
I mean, we've always put the final COLA to the marshals and the pretrial and Pringer,
We've done
yeah.
adjustments.
After that was approved,
September
yeah.
1st as well.
What's
We've
that?
done adjustments after September 1st as well. So if we did it illegally,
Not
then
necessarily.
ours ain't gonna be jail right now because we broke the law back
No.
then. So,
Sheriff.
where's Sheriff at?
In my 3 years of doing the budget,
It's gonna be a long meeting, so I'll take the night to tell you half.
in my 3 years of doing the budget, there were no adjustments to the court. We agreed upon, other than COLA, for pretrial and or marshals. Pringer kind of changed last year, like I said. That was done with the courts last year. And you approved all those adjustments for the youth, what are they called?
Specialists.
Specialists before September 1st, so.
But Jeff is right. Before the last couple of years, before years, they never submitted it early enough to do this.
Yeah, Pringer was always done as a
Never
department
held it to us.
head prior to last year, after September 1st, so.
But even the courts never did until the last 2 years.
Well, would we want to approve everything but the salaries and do the salaries next week?
You could do that if you're ready.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
Yeah, I may not change the salary next week either.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, that gives us,
So, yeah, we can move on from that part of it,
yeah,
yes.
but that way we don't, we're approving these.
And the salary to be reviewed still includes the adjustments,
Yes.
the separate.
And again, we would have to make that adjustment by
Toby
before
had
September
4.
1.
I think the pretrial had some that were trying to base it on the state changes it to 1%. Is that considered a COLA? So those two would be the ones that we basically talk about. It's not a whole lot, but it's just until we really know we're doing it with the rest of the county employees. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
fair to them either.
Judge Green, correct me if I'm wrong, but after that salary study comes in, if there's adjustments you and the commission can agree on after September 1st, that's fine, right?
Yeah, I don't see any big problem with that. I think the way we're set up is that she put the increases in her proposed budget, and then if you all don't vote for the increases that she wants, then it would be up to us to decide whether we wanted to appeal your decision or not. And if we didn't appeal your decision, it would stand, but there's nothing that would prevent us from doing it later.
She's shifting some positions around to
Yeah.
compensate. And that's been happening with other departments and things like that, so I'm fine with that, but I
will just open the door for the rest of the departments too.
Yeah, I know.
Budget for 26.
I'll try a motion here and see what happens. We adopted the budget as presented, except for salaries.
Second.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
A footnote is that on or before September 1, we had the salary number adopted. It doesn't have to be part of this motion, I guess, but consensus is that's what we're going to do, right?
Yes, so we would add, you would add those to our agenda. Please.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
That's right, we got to do it at 9 o'clock.
Make sure everyone has signed the sign-up sheet that's in here if you haven't already, please.
Okay, now we will go back to our agenda. And do you have any minutes or reports received and filed?
Do we need to wait till 9 o'clock?
That's 3 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry. It's
Close enough?
Yes, sir.
And you guys, we have a new sound system, so it does pick up every bit of conversation in this room.
Thank you. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I texted Lily and she said she could.
Oh, jeez. We can do our. Can we jump in here? It's 8:58, it's 9:58 Eastern time.
Debbie, I just sent you the one.
Clock somewhere.
Yeah.
As long as we keep the plans.
Yes, sir. Cut yourself shaving?
Yeah. Still fish.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you're good.
Sit down in the lane and step on stuff. He's gonna go.
Well,
So,
yes, let's go ahead and we will get the show on the road. Minutes and reports received and filed.
yes, we have the Treasurer's July 2025 reconciliation report.
Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings.
Well, already, I guess on the agenda, which is donuts versus hose draggers, as they refer to it, to one.